So the crypto markets are correcting. It's finally happened. The first test of the crypto bull cycle. You thought you had it easy, but no, you didn't. There's always going to be volatility in the process. If this is your first bull cycle, well, welcome. The crypto markets are very exciting. Right now, Bitcoin is at $59,000, up 3% from where it was before, over at the 56K mark. Is the bull run over? Is it time to sell everything? That's what we're going to be going over in this video. If you enjoy the content, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. And let's get into it. So, $59,000. When you look at crypto and the grand scheme of things, this is something I want to show immediately here. In case lettuce hands need a reminder, this is a graph of where the average crypto cycle goes. This is just historically 2018 and 2022 all the way up to the Genesis to 2011 cycle. Right now, we are here. And so most of the gains, if you did not know this, happened at the tail end of the bull cycle. When I made all my money in Axie Infinity, that pretty much happened during the time span of, it wasn't even 2 months. It felt like a month and a half, maybe maximum, during that July to August huge narrative shift in crypto gaming. And then we got this huge run and we made all our money and we pretty much were gone after that. We just leave to our next cycle. Right now, we're still very early on this process. At initial thoughts, I had thought that because we were in an accelerated cycle, we hit all-time highs before the halving, that this market cycle was going to end before the end of this year. With the current correction, however, depending on how all of this goes, some people are calling for the markets to sideline for a bit and then do their thing after the month ends. May historically has been a slow month for crypto. It's when I personally actually got into crypto back in 2021, really got into the markets. So a very exciting time for all of you that are in the markets right now, because it's kind of a throwback back to when I started this whole process. And I still remember when I was looking at Bitcoin at $30,000 after the Elon Musk tweet went out, where they were banning Bitcoin pretty much because of the environmental effects, and there wasn't enough solar powered energy out there that was renewable. And nowadays, we don't even think about that as a narrative. We don't think about the China banning Bitcoin for the 30th time narrative anymore. Maybe it'll happen again, right, at some point. But for the most part, when it comes to something like Bitcoin, there are totally different macro effects that are affecting you right now. There is an election cycle that's coming pretty soon for the US. That is going to be big because the S&P 500, the stock market, tends to run pretty hard leading into election cycles. It's an easy way for these politicians to get their votes in, which it is what it is. I respect it, I guess, as long as you could take advantage of it. Of course, the rich people always get the bulk of it all, but at least we could try to take advantage of it in the crypto markets. What am I looking at right now? So my investment strategy has changed a little bit. If you did not know, we've been getting into, seed, private sales, into KOL rounds, strategic rounds, all that kind of stuff. I've been slowing down a little bit on these more speculative sales, and I've been beginning to deploy more capital into some of the safer plays in the markets right now. So let me tell you some of them. IMX is one of them. They recently started a $50 million airdrop. Seems like a lot of that marketing is starting to come in for IMX. Another one that I'm very bullish on is Ronin. Ronin has continued to just throw so much news at us. There is so much data to support that when Ronin is out there and they're releasing games and they're beginning these airdrop campaigns, that there are a lot of users participating within them. Another one that I am personally looking into is Echelon Prime. They have finally begun some penetration into the Hearthstone community, which is their direct competitor. There are, of course, a lot of deficiencies within their game still. I'm not saying this is a perfect game. However, at its current state with crypto valuations, I thought it was a pretty good crypto valuation. And the last one that I'm looking at was Zentry, which is ticker symbol Zent, which I think is going to be awesome because it's the GuildFi rebrand. And GuildFi rebranding should be a big thing because they have that big old thing going on with Beam, and Polygon wants to do something, and IMX wants to do something. A bunch of these big crypto gaming brands want to do something. And of course, I mean, you can't forget Wilder World. while the world continues to do stuff with their midnight in Miami. Now, that's the token side. I am investing into crypto gaming nodes. If you haven't seen the channel lately, we recently got into Sophon, which Sophon, if we can go back here, was a crypto gaming / AI node that had recently come out. Of course, I will do a disclaimer that these are pretty high risk because these are nodes, and nodes you have to hold for quite some time at a minimum. Some of them tell you to hold for 3 months. So this is not something that you want to make a majority of your portfolio. But if you're interested in the idea of what crypto nodes can mean for decentralization as well as income over the long term, then it might make sense for you to get into these nodes. Other ones that I'm looking at right now are Carve Protocol, which we talked about. Also, I looked into Rivals, not too convinced on that one. There are a couple others, but for the most part, that's kind of where we're at in terms of nodes. And of course, Cornucopias has their file nodes, which I'm also doing DD on. But I think for the most part, when it comes to nodes, if you don't get into a crypto gaming node on its launch day, then you cannot take advantage of inefficiencies within the market. What am I talking about? All I'm saying is that when you get into these crypto gaming nodes, unless you got in right at the start when all these bots are going crazy, then you're probably going to get fair value. And at that point, I mean, you might as well just buy a token, right? Like, I mean, honestly, you might as well just buy a token, take advantage of the short-term pumps, and then maybe with some of the profits buy nodes. But for the most part, it just doesn't really make too much sense. I know a lot of brands are going onto the crypto gaming node side, and they're really doubling down on that. I'm still very much in the token game. In terms of NFTs, I know some people are going to ask me about NFTs. I am looking into NFTs. You know, there are a couple cool things going on within the NFT world. There was Blade of God X, which recently did their mint, but for the most part, other than maybe Utes recently bridging back to Solana, I haven't found anything particularly exciting. I'm up, I think, like 20% on this trade. So it's not like, oh, no, I guess 30%. 30% on this trade, but it's not like I'm this genius trader that is almighty. It's just trading a narrative. And the narrative is that DeGods are hopping back into Solana. The Solana community is more than accepting of them. So you've got to play into these narratives. Is the crypto gaming narrative going to happen right now? I don't think so. I would say that if you are buying crypto gaming tokens, that you should have a diversified portfolio into some of the other niches. Of course, depending on which niche you specialize in, then you could take best advantage of things. I know that Nine Heroes is having their Play to Airdrop Season 2 coming out very soon as well. So there's a lot of things you could take advantage of if you want to focus just on crypto gaming. But I will say it's one of the slower niches right now. I know AI and the Layer 1 coins are going absolutely parabolic right now. Everybody loves them. This is the thing, though. When everybody is trading one niche, sure, it's really hot for a bit, but the amount of risk that you're taking is enormous. There are so many people trying to take advantage of this niche that can you really best take advantage of something? It's like when airdrops came out. People made so much money off airdrops, and then all of a sudden all these thread writers came out. Airdrops didn't get that good. People didn't make that much money off airdrops after all those thread writers came out. So what I'm trying to say is that now that crypto gaming is a little bit on that back burner, things are still happening. You can probably, as someone that's getting into crypto gaming right now, learn all about the opportunities, take advantage of them before the masses come in and the competition gets ridiculous and you can't make money anymore, just like what happened back in October to December. And then when it actually blows up, you reap the spoils and you can make your little Twitter threads talking about how much money you've made in the crypto market. So I do not think we're anywhere close to a top right now. I mean, like, I'm very much a maxi in the idea of what crypto can be. I'm also not delusional. I know that this industry is PvP. I'm either dumping on you or you're dumping on me. That's how it works, right? So I would say that when there are moments when a lot of people think something is going to happen, the likelihood scenario is that it's not going to happen, but either way, you should be prepared for both scenarios, no matter what you might think. Longer term holders will always beat the average short-term holders. There's some outliers that make a ridiculous amount of money. You could hear this 14-year-old kid making millions of dollars, but the average person will lose trying to trade short-term. Hyper trading is very much a thing, and it affects a lot of people. So I would say get into your long-term positions. This is that time to DCA. And then when the markets inevitably run back up, you reap the profits and you buy that Lambo. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Hopefully I helped talk a little bit about the markets and calm your fears. Till the next time, stay classy. And that's all.